What is up, everybody? You are watching Straight Facts, episode 11 with Ritchie and Ciro. I'm Ciro, my boy.
Richie.
And let's get straight into the facts. Kick it off for us, Richie.
Alright, so before we get into the basketball news, everything, we have some big MLB news. Finally, Manny Machado signing his deal is with the San Diego Padres, 10 years, $300 million, with an opt-out in the 5th year. This is the biggest free agent contract in American sports history, and it was surprising to me that he's going to the Padres, a team that was second to the last worst record in the National League, a 66-98 they were in 2018, and they don't really have much talent on the team. They do have Eric Hosmer, a former World Series champion, Ian Kinsler, who was a former Gold Glover, but his best days are behind him, and Machado had a great 2018, 37 home runs, 107 RBIs, 297 batting average with both the Orioles and the Dodgers, but I just don't see... I mean, obviously he's not going for playoffs or World Series. He's just in it for the money.
So, I mean, at one point I was hoping that he'd sign with the Yankees. He seemed like that was kind of going to be his option, but changed his mind, decides to go to the Padres. Gets $300 million. I mean, like, $300 million on 10 years? There's no way. Richie, do you think he's going to play for them for 10 years?
I don't think he'll stay there for 10 years.
He has an opt-out on his 5th year.
He does have the opt-out in the 5th year,
okay,
so I'm opting out of that right away.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't think he understands what he's getting himself into. It's not like he's going to a great team.
Yeah, and the Padres just don't have anybody. They don't have
It's not like they have
offense.
any...
They don't have any pitching. They have no pitching at all.
Yeah, they don't have any ability to, like, get better this offseason, really. I mean, now there goes their money down the drain to somebody who is most likely going to opt out on that 5th year. And also, just 10 years, like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah,
I wouldn't sign any athlete to 10 years, no matter what their age is or what their prime is.
5 to 6 is the longest you can
Mine
go.
is like 4 or 5, just because, like...
You don't know what any injuries can happen.
Yeah, and also, like, you want room for more free agents.
Right.
It's not like...
Now they're not going to sign anybody else. You just spent $300 million
It's going to be Manny Machado, and, like, it's like playing 2K, and you got, like, a max contract with the salary cap on, so obviously you're just going to put up, like, underrated players. That's it. The team is not going to be at all what it could have been. As if it could have been anything better. I think it's just not going to... There's no future to it, really. I mean, getting rid of that much money, it's crazy. So.
But also, Bryce Harper, he is yet to sign, and there's been talks about him signing with the Phillies, which would be a great option because Philadelphia has so much talent in, former Gold Glover, Andrew McCutchen. They have Rice Hoskins, who is an up-and-comer great outfield. They just signed all-star catcher JT Realmuto. They signed shortstop all-star Gene Segura. They have great pitching.
Very fast,
I think that could be a really good option. Also, the White Sox they were talking about he could go to. And Padres, I would think, is obviously a long shot now, but he was in talks with them. Or he could just go back to the Nationals.
I mean, if the Padres land him, which I don't know what money he's going to be making, but that'd be crazy. But Harper going to the Phillies would be huge. I just really think that, like, you agree too. He's just overrated. This whole situation is just, like,
yeah, and last year he really fell off. He had a .249 batting average and struck out 169 times. He did have 100 RBIs and 34 home runs, but I mean, his team once again didn't, they didn't make it to the playoffs, and when they do make it to the playoffs, they don't go very far.
No.
So, in his 6-year career, he does have a .279 batting average, 521 RBIs, and he had, of course, the MVP 2015 season, but he really fell off last year.
Kind of like the rest is history after that for him. I mean, he hasn't stepped up in his career for anything. It just kind of I would not say step down because that's very.
No, last year was just an off year because the previous year he was fantastic. He had over 300.
Absolutely, and of course when I say like step down for him, it's Bryce Harper. It's somebody who took over the MLB.
He's held on a high level, of course.
Ever since what? 17 years old?
16, 17 years old. They were talking about him on ESPN. So.
Yeah, so Bryce Harper, obviously, I just think that he's a big name, and that's kind of, like, why there's so much. He's gotta, like, relax, though. Make up your mind, buddy.
Right, it's taking forever.
Yeah.
But, so we're done with the MLB for now. We'll see if Harper signs next time by Saturday.
Probably not.
Probably not. We don't know. But now we head over to the NBA All-Star Game, and it was Team LeBron in the come-from-behind victory over Team Giannis,
KD,
178 to 164. Durant, now a 2-time All-Star MVP, putting up 31 points, 7 rebounds. LeBron, 19 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 blocks. Kawhi Leonard, he played? This man played?
Yo, coach, put me in!
He didn't play much in the fourth quarter. He did have 19 points, though, knocking down 5 out of his 11 3-point attempts. And some cool thing we saw, Dwayne Wade playing 10 minutes off the bench.
One last lob,
7 points, 4 assists. He caught a lob from LeBron, and he threw a lob off the glass to LeBron. That was really cool to see.
That's got to be the new thing, one last lob.
Yep.
I was just,
looked back.
I love it so much. Obviously, growing up, Flash was one of my favorites, and he still is going to be one of my favorites of all time. Just his ability to as fast as he was, he could do everything except shoot a lot. But
yeah, his shot has never been great. But I mean, he's never really needed a shot.
It's gonna stink, without Dwayne Wade in the league. Just because he might not be as dominant. He's definitely not as dominant as he once was, but still having his presence. Same with Dirk, as we'll get into.
Oh, Dirk, 9 points for him in just 4 minutes, and he knocked down his first 2 3-pointers in the final 34 seconds of the first quarter. That was awesome. And I like that he didn't play. He didn't play any minutes in the second half or anything. Just let him get his buckets, and that's it.
Yeah, put me in, coach. Let me score. Take me out, coach.
Exactly what he did. And for Giannis, I feel bad for him. He dropped 38 points on 17 of 23 shooting from the field, 11 rebounds, 5 assists. He also made his first 9 field goal attempts, and he was crazy. When Curry bounced it up to him, he got up there.
Did you see the picture of the ball 2 feet above the rim, and his hand is the ball's here, and his hand's there? How did he do that?
I don't know. He's got some crazy bounce, and he was doing it all night. That wasn't just the only dunk. Obviously, that was a highlight.
Yeah, of course, but his just his vertical, and it's not fair because his arms a regular vertical is scary, but if he adds his arms to it, because his arm is taller than the both of us, man. His arms just it was crazy. You gotta look at that picture. That picture is crazy. Just to see it, because that pass was crazy. That little bounce that he did, but the way Giannis got up there. It was
perfectly placed.
Yeah, the way Giannis got up there was insane.
And also his Bucks teammate Chris Middleton with 20 points. He knocked down 4 3-pointers.
He was on the reserves, right?
Yep.
Okay.
He was the first pick he had for the reserves. And then Paul George hit James Harden with his patented step back 2 times for a 3.
Let's
go.
Had
a 360 dunk in the second
MVP,
half.
No, I'm kidding. Giannis is MVP, but Paul George, baby, that's how they do it.
And it was really a tale of 2 halves. You can see Team Giannis won in the first half, 95-82. Led by as much as 18 in the second quarter, and then Team LeBron won the second half, 96-69.
Yeah, and they came back. They were down a couple buckets in the fourth.
Down by as much as 20 in the third.
Yeah, wow. That's crazy. I wasn't able to watch as much of it as I wanted to, just because I was at my friend's house. But I watched the last quarter on my phone, and bro, that game it was. 180? Was that how many LeBron had? 183 or something?
For what?
For LeBron, the point with Team LeBron.
Oh, they had 178.
178, okay.
And they had 148 last year when they beat Team Curry. So LeBron's 2-0. Team LeBron's 2-0.
And also, just imagine being able to put up that much points. I understand, it's kind of it's not taking
last
serious.
year they really had. This year they had everything.
Yeah.
It was just fun to see Giannis going
And it was
off,
actually broadcasted
Kevin Durant
this year.
Heated up.
Yeah, because last year it wasn't even broadcasted, right?
Right.
It's just dumb.
Talking about the draft.
Yeah, and all that stuff. But
yeah, I like that they did the draft this year.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I thought that was really cool. They did a lot. I think that other than that awful dunk contest, this year was great. This was a great
3-point contest was awesome.
Even the celebrity All-Star game was fun. 3-point contest, the Rising Stars. The skills challenge was crazy. I don't want to talk about Trae Young getting bodied, but Tatum really pulled up from half court. This guy, I wish they showed the camera, because the camera quality was bad. All you just saw was a ball go up.
Yeah.
But it was this.
I couldn't believe
this is an All-Star weekend. I will say I'm gonna miss, and I think the reason why is.
It was definitely a memorable one.
Wade and Dirk.
Yeah, because you don't know. Dirk really hasn't made it official yet. Whether or not he's going to retire.
He might. I don't know if he might. But
or he could have that Kevin Garnett role that he had in Timberwolves, where he just kind of turned into kind of a coach.
Because when he went there for that last year, he was there for Cat, because that was Cat's second year, I believe.
Yep.
When Garnett retired.
And plus, all those kids were young too, with Wiggins and everything.
Mm-hmm. So I think that's cool if they can get another draft pick, and hey, who's gonna be there next year? Kristaps. So I think that really that he could like you just said, dude, you just hit the money. You hit the money on the target.
Doesn't have to play
be there for him. Absolutely. I forgot that Kristaps is there. So when Kristaps comes back, there can help 2 young
obviously he can mentor
players.
all the guys too.
Yeah, of course.
That could be a pretty solid team.
I think that'd be really cool too. Because but except I don't think that Wiggins and Cat never had the potential just because of Wiggins' attitude. We know about his.
Wiggins is kind of he just doesn't give 100% effort every night.
Nope.
There's some nights where he's really on, and some nights where he just doesn't care. It seems.
Literally he doesn't care. He doesn't show up, and we've talked about how just the mentality and attitude of players can really.
I like Towns though. I think he's improved.
I do like
a lot
Cat.
this year. We'll talk about
his defense. His defense hasn't been the best, but
it's improved this year as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because he talked about it at the beginning of the year how he wanted to improve on it, and he has.
Yeah, absolutely. So I just think overall this All-Star break is top 3 for me that I've watched. I love the 2013 one. I love the Houston, Orlando, and then this one are probably my favorite.
Right. So we head over to the top 5 centers in the NBA, and who do you have first?
So I have Anthony Davis. I have him as a center.
Mm-hmm. He's listed as a power forward on ESPN, so that's why I just...
Yeah, I understand. It's just because like he starts as a center, and I watch him a lot, and he plays a center because I'd definitely rather have Randall and Davis than Davis and Okafor. Yeah, I mean Okafor has played solid minutes, but he really has.
He played well in that drama.
But he's not better than Randall. I would not ever go that far. And Randall and Davis are just, and now that Mirotic is gone, Randall and Davis are way better.
Right. So for me, I had Nikola Jokic going first. He's averaging career high 20 points a game, 10 rebounds, averaging a career high 7.7 assists per game, which leads all centers.
He is the best passing big man that we might ever see.
And also his player efficiency rating is 4th in the NBA, which leads all centers too. So that was another stat that really popped out to me.
Yeah.
And also his team has the 2nd best record in the Western Conference, so him playing well has
definitely
translated
affected.
into victories.
So Jokic goes down as 2 for me. I do think that the reason why I put Davis there is we know Davis. When Davis was playing, he was averaging over 30 and 15 in the last, 15 games of those when he was playing. And obviously Anthony Davis is not just dominant, he's great. Yeah. And I think that this year, obviously it's kind of been a little roller coaster for his team and his decisions that he decided to make. I definitely don't agree with him on most of the stuff, but I'm a huge AD guy. And I got to be there for saying that I think that not only is he the best big man, but I think that since he is playing center now because of his team, and like we talked about, they don't really have centers.
No.
I mean, they don't have a center.
They don't have much height on that team.
Other than Okafor.
Even on their bench.
Yeah, I mean, Okafor's not even tall.
Yeah, Okafor's probably...
6'11"?
He's probably Davis's height.
Okay, yeah. But, absolutely. I can't see, why Davis wouldn't start at the 5, you know? Right. So, that's just why I have Davis there. And then Jokic, obviously, I mean, he's close with him just because of this year. But I think overall, Davis is the best big man.
For number 2, I have Joel Embiid, who, of course, is averaging a double-double, 27.3 points per game, which leads all centers, 13.5 rebounds, which is 2nd in the NBA, and also leads the NBA in double-doubles.
Yeah, I mean, I'd put Joel Embiid at my 3. Our list is similar, except I don't have Towns in it. I replaced it with somebody, but I think that Joel Embiid is just, he's great. He really is. I mean, there's not too much to say.
One thing you will talk about is his turnovers. He turns the ball over
we were talking about that. Is that 4.8 at one point? I'm pretty sure.
It was pretty high. But Jokic is pretty high too.
Yeah.
Because they have.
Of course, Jokic literally will take the ball at the top of the key.
Embiid doesn't really do that. No. He loses it a lot.
Embiid will go to the post and like you just said, he loses it. He drops a lot. That's one thing. I wouldn't really count that as a turnovers nowadays are really far-fetched.
Plus, everyone turns the ball over.
You know what I mean? Though, the league is really far-fetched. The word turnover. No one talks
about turnovers either.
If you go for the ball and it's right here and you miss, that's a turnover. What? That's not a turnover. For them, maybe for the person who threw it. Definitely for the person who threw it.
Yeah.
Because they missed it, that's their turnover. It's crazy. But I think that Joel Embiid, even from his rookie year, he took the league by storm. He showed that not only can a big man be a good defender and good in the paint.
Efficient. He can score really quickly.
Yeah.
Remember,
he can do
last year or the year before, his time was limited.
Yes.
And he would have to score a lot of points and get a lot of rebounds.
And now with who's on the team now,
the team's stacked now.
It's number 2 super team in the league. Right. Hands down. Even though their bench is hot trash, and getting rid of Shamet was not the best move, but they have McConnell.
TJ McConnell, yeah.
I wish they kept Covington just because he's such a great defender.
Right, and a 3-point shooter. He is a streaky 3-point shooter.
Yeah, he does.
When he's
hot, he's on. So yeah, Joel Embiid will go as my number 3. So who's yours?
Number 3 for me is Nikola Vucevic, who's averaging a career high 20.5 points per game on 52% shooting from the field, 12.1 rebounds, and he's shooting 38% from behind the arc, which is 3rd among centers.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely big for Vucevic. Vucevic, of course, I felt like they should have traded him. Just because
I think he's a free agent though. So unfortunately, they're not going to get anything out of him.
So I have Rudy Gobert at number 4, and I think that his defense is there. He's not only just a monster defender, but he can score a little. He hasn't showcased a lot of
he has the highest field goal percentage in the NBA. I mean, obviously, he only takes layups.
He doesn't
and dunks,
take that many shots. I mean, is
still.
he at 11 still? Because at one point he was just over 10 for points.
For points per game, 15.
15. Wow.
15.2.
He's totally. I mean, last year he was
high.
just at a double-double last year, and I mean, we know how he gets down with the rebounds, and we know how he scores. So I think that Gobert not only is not. I'd say he's the best big man defender. I mean, Miles Turner's up there too.
He has 101.9 defensive rating, which is 7th in the NBA and 5th among centers.
So yeah, I definitely put Gobert at my number 4. Who's your 5?
For 4, I had Karl Anthony Towns averaging 23.1 points per game, which is 2nd among centers. Tied 1st in 3-point field goal percentage with who? Guess who?
Steph Curry.
Dwayne Dedmon among centers.
Oh.
Among centers, your boy Dwayne Dedmon.
Let's
That's
go,
crazy,
baby.
right? Also,
I didn't know you said among centers.
Right.
No, he's not
that's
up
crazy,
there.
Right?
But that's
Dwayne
ridiculous.
Dedmon.
That is crazy, bro.
But 12 rebounds as well, and we talked about him improving on the defensive end, averaging 1.77 blocks per game, career high, and nearly a steal a game, which is also a career high for him.
Dwayne Dedmon's not my boy. No, I'm kidding. But, okay, so I can agree with you putting in 4, but somebody I put at 5 is somebody who, that's my boy, Steven Adams. Steven Adams makes my list just because I think that this year he's took a step in the right direction. He might not be the best scorer, but he definitely is a monster
defender. His stats aren't anything that pop out to you. 14 points, 9.5 rebounds.
Yes.
But it's because Westbrook and George are getting them
all. Totally capitalizing on that moment.
He's doing a great job boxing out. He's a defensive, really...
An animal.
Yeah.
He's a beast at it. He can totally just do pretty much anything you want him to do, other than shoot the ball. But
he's really a threat in the paint. Guys don't want to go in the paint with him.
No.
He's so strong.
He's a player that you could really just feed at any given time. Like if 10 seconds left, you could put him up real quick, body, bang.
Yeah.
His moves in the paint aren't flashy, but he gets a job done, and I love old school players like that. Like Clint Capella could make my list if he played more games.
Right.
Like
he was definitely.
He's at 18 points. He was at 18 points and I think 9 rebounds at one point.
He might have been averaging more rebounds probably.
Yeah.
I would think.
Yeah, that's true. I know, but he had 18 points. That's crazy.
That's really good.
That's amazing.
Obviously,
for him.
He's improved on the offensive end.
Yeah,
too.
absolutely. This was going to be his first big season.
Mm-hmm.
So I could have put Capella there. So who's your 5?
My 5 is Rudy Gobert.
Okay.
And as we talked about, of course, averaging the double-double this year, and we talked about him leading the league in field goal percentage, and the defensive rating stats is pretty impressive too.
Yeah, I mean, like we talked about, we kind of talked about Gobert enough, but I think that our lists they're pretty similar, but I think that Gobert, he just is. He's been balling out this year, and he had a career high, correct?
Yeah, career high in points, 15.2.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean that's huge, and I like seeing centers. I love watching centers develop from not just defenders but scorers. When you see guys like
Ibaka.
Ibaka's
kind of.
Ibaka's definitely died down. I mean, at one point his nickname was Serge Ibaka. He was so good on defense, and then he was able to score too. And obviously now Spicy P took over the throne, and they have Gasol in there, so Ibaka's minutes have gone down a little. But coming off the bench, that's huge. I do like that. Imagine Ibaka coming off your bench, just because he's a definite starter in most teams.
Right.
I think that's really cool. What they've done with players like that who have developed. I mean, same with Collins. Last year, he wasn't the biggest scorer. Of course, he was our number 1 scorer, but it's the Hawks. Not too many guys score. You can't see Bazemore averaging more than 13 points. You can't see Collins averaging more than 17. But this year, you can, because he's definitely stepped up in the right direction. When your main scorer, I can't really compare Collins that much just because he always was the main scorer. But players that weren't scorers, like Rudy Gobert, who are now stepping up, like you said, career high, 15 points per game. That's awesome, and I think that, our list is pretty solid.
There were some other guys that I had in the running. Andre Drummond, he leads the league in rebounds.
Yep.
But I had him as well. Steven Adams, like you said, and LaMarcus Aldridge, who's one of the top scoring centers in the league. I mean, they consider him a center.
Yeah.
I would think of him more as a forward, power forward.
I mean, it makes sense on why he, since Powell's injured, he won't play power forward. And also, Jakob can play center, too. I mean, he's pretty big. So, I mean, that whole team's really young. That Spurs team.
Yeah, I like that.
They got a lot. I mean, Forbes is pretty good too, and White. But I think that overall, they got some talent. I wouldn't agree with getting rid of Kyle Anderson, but it is what it is.
And they don't have DeJounte Murray, of course, with that torn ACL.
Yeah, I mean that's tough because Murray was really developing. Even last year,
he was a really good defender too. His offensive game really hadn't developed a crazy amount, but he certainly can play defense.
So yeah, that was our top 5 centers.
All right, so
Richie, what are we doing, Richie?
Our final topic of the day, debate that's always talked about: Michael Jordan versus LeBron James.
Let's do it. All right.
What do you got, Ciro?
So you want to start off for us?
Huh?
You want to start it off for us, Richie?
Start it off for us.
All right.
Well, for me, it's always the finals appearances.
Okay.
And their success in the finals. Now LeBron James, he's been there more. He's been there 9 times. Jordan's been there 6. LeBron is only 3-6, while Michael Jordan is a perfect 6 for 6. And when we're talking about shooting and scoring, MJ has him beat, averaging 33.6 points per game, 48% from the field, 80% from the free throw line, 36% from behind the arc. Now LeBron, we know he is the better all-around player.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he has better vision, he's a better passer, he's a better rebounder. But we're talking about scoring in big moments. MJ has him beat.
I mean, also MJ is in less playoff games than Jordan.
Yeah, like for
than
for
James.
finals games, LeBron has played 49 while MJ's played 35.
Yeah, I mean, LeBron's gone to Game 7s. Jordan hasn't. Obviously, that shows, but that's not just Jordan. That's not just Jordan who brings his team to that. Because I'll talk about in my part on why Jordan wouldn't go to Game 7 and why LeBron would get swept.
Mm-hmm.
So, anything else that you'd like to add?
Another thing I'd like to add is the defense.
Okay.
Michael Jordan won the Defensive Player of the Year award.
Yeah,
LeBron
absolutely.
has never done that.
It's a landslide.
All defensive first team, Michael Jordan 9 times, LeBron 5. And he's also a steals leader 3 times, while LeBron has never done that. And James has really, I mean, since he left the Heat, he really has played little to no defense.
Oh, absolutely. And it's a landslide. There's no debate. I'm not going to argue with you that LeBron James is a good defender. He's definitely gone down. He's definitely died a lot when it comes to what he was, as he's a 5-time All-NBA defensive team, and compared to Jordan's 9. And obviously that is definitely a landslide in conditions of how LeBron has about 6 prime years left, I think, because LeBron can do it. I will talk about LeBron's age compared to Jordan and how his efficiency died down. Anything else?
The regular season, for just regular season numbers, LeBron has him beat by a landslide in rebounds and assists, but scoring, Jordan still has over 200 more points than him. LeBron is probably going to pass him by the end of the season.
Yeah, for sure.
Still, I mean, it took LeBron longer. It took him, he's been in the league for now 15 and a half years. This will be the 16th once it's done.
Mm-hmm.
And Jordan did it in 15 seasons.
Also, assist ratio is much different. So, I'll start it off with my opinion on LeBron being able to get it done compared to Jordan. LeBron's team obviously was awful. So was Jordan. So let me read it to you. I say LeBron could go far with the bad team as MJ could not. Year 1 through year 5, Michael Jordan was beat to the Celtics 2 years, and he could not get past them bad boys Pistons. Joe Dumars, Isaiah Thomas, and Dennis Rodman were too much for MJ and his non-existing team. LeBron James, on the other hand, could beat the Wizards and not beat the Pistons, who are Chauncey Billups, Ben Wallace. I can understand that. Year 2, James beats the Wizards, Nets, Pistons, and loses to Tim Duncan, Bruce Bowen, Tony Parker, and Manu Ginobili.
Chance of winning that.
No
he did a great
chance.
job taking them. I mean,
Absolutely.
He carried them.
Absolutely. And showing that he could do that, that just, for one, shows me what LeBron does. Year 3, Jordan beats the Cavs. Woo! Mark Bryce and Brad Daugherty. Loses to the bad boys. LeBron James beat the Wizards. Of course, the Wizards were a very solid team. I mean, you look back at Agent Zero, what he was doing at that point, and prime Antoine Jameson, who is, he was a solid player too. And they lose to the Celtics. This is a team that we know is tough to face. Yep. So, of course, LeBron James would lose to the Celtics, who had a big 3 that we had never seen before. Really, in the past 10 years, that was the first big 3 other than the Jordan.
Teams, really.
Yeah. And then 1984, Jordan beats the Cavs Knicks, which was a big run, and then loses to the Bad Boys. James beats the Pistons Hawks and loses to the Magic. Jordan beats Bucks 76ers, and what does he lose to? The Bad Boys. James beats the Bulls and loses to that Celtics team again. So my point on that and what I was saying was I think that LeBron James proved that he could bring a team that was not good farther than what Michael Jordan could do. Michael Jordan would put up 60 points and still lose. He would get swept. And that shows that not only Michael Jordan could put up big numbers, but he wasn't winning. So when you're criticizing LeBron for not winning and putting up big numbers, it's not helping your debate, because Michael Jordan would do the same thing. So the next thing I talked about is Michael Jordan's playoff stats from the age of 21, 24, and 33. 33 was the last year he played before he retired and started playing golf and baseball. So Michael Jordan, at the age of 21, he played 4 games, 29 points, 5 rebounds, and 8.5 assists. That's perfect numbers. I wouldn't argue that. And I think that, like Michael Jordan, he would go 36, 7, and 4, 31, 7, and 4. The difference between Michael Jordan's playoff numbers and LeBron James' playoff numbers is Michael Jordan would decrease. What did LeBron do? Skyrocket. LeBron James continued to get better. Last year was his best season yet.
Yeah, it was.
And also, Michael Jordan, 1984 to 1990, he could not do it. He would lose to Magic Johnson in his prime, Larry Bird in his prime, the Bad Boys, one of the greatest 5-season franchises ever. He couldn't beat it. He needed a super team. Could you name anybody off that 1984 through 90 roster? No. Michael Jordan couldn't do nothing, and that's why he was like that. Same with LeBron. LeBron had a bad team. I can name you his team just because, one, I've written it down, and also I know them. And now I talk about the NBA Finals conversation. LeBron James lost his 2018 Warriors. You know the stars. Do I have to say them? No. 2017 Warriors stars. Don't even got to say them either. KD, Curry, Thompson, Green. It's just simple. The Cavs stars. I mean, LeBron, Love, and Kyrie, that was big. In 2018, LeBron just had Love, who was at the start of his unhealthy career. In 2015 Warriors, this was just ridiculous. The Warriors had Iguodala, Curry, Green, Thompson, and a young Harrison Barnes. Now, I don't think that we don't even need to say. The Cavs stars was LeBron James. Kyrie Irving was injured and Kevin Love was injured. He had Matthew Dellavedova. That's it. Obviously, he didn't have a supporting cast. And the 2006 Spurs over Cavs. The 2006-07 Spurs beat the Cavs because, one, LeBron James was the only
It was just impressive that he got them.
Absolutely. That's big.
I mean, I didn't expect them to win the finals. It's still a loss.
I mean, the Spurs had Hall of Famers on deck. Not only one of the best coaches, if not the best coach of all time, in Greg Popovich in his prime. He had Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, and Bruce Bowen. That's a huge team, and I don't think that Michael Jordan would. I don't know if his team could even beat that. That prime team right there, I mean, Tim Duncan putting up prime numbers and MVP-like, so that was just big with that. Now, Jordan's competition, this is what I talk about. 1997 and 1998 went against the Utah Jazz twice. Utah Jazz had Stockton and Malone. That's
Two Hall of Famers.
That's it, though.
Two Hall of
Greg
Famers.
Ostertag is, that's it. That's the next thing off that. Their bench was non-existent. The Chicago Bulls that year had incredible bench, and obviously Ron Harper and Steve Kerr, those two could definitely do good, and Edwards was good, and of course Jordan, Pippen, Longley, Rodman, that right there, that team is just stacked compared to Stockton Malone. 1996, the Supersonics. You have Peyton, Hershey, Hawkins, and Kemp. This is a team that I will give them credit. This was a great win for Michael Jordan. Mm-hmm. Obviously, this is a series that I've watched plenty of times. I think that this is his best series. Now we go on to the Suns. Barkley. Next, 1992, the Blazers. Drexler. Next, 1991, the Lakers. Magic Johnson finding out he has HIV. Next, Byron Scout and James Worthy were out, who James Worthy we know, NBA Finals MVP. So, I talked about Jordan's playoff stats. Now I go on to LeBron's at the age of 21, 24, and 33. LeBron at the age of 21 had 30.8 points, 5.8 assists, and 8.1 rebounds. At the age of 24, LeBron had 35.3 points, 7.3 assists, 9.1 rebounds. Right there in 3 years, his points not only went up, but that's the year he went to the finals. Age 33, points, 34 points per game, 9 assists, 9 rebounds. Jordan wasn't even playing at this age. And that's just, LeBron James is the greatest basketball player of all time. He might not be the best defender, but he can score better. He has a better all-time field goal percentage, an all-time better three-point field goal percentage, and he has more assists. Michael Jordan is number 44 on the all-time assists. LeBron James is 11. He's also on a landslide on rebounds. Obviously,
Jordan has him on landslide, though, in free throw percentage.
On free throw percentage and steals, but that's it. He beats him in everything else. LeBron James' stats in the finals in 2017, 33 points, almost 34, 12 rebounds, and 10 assists. LeBron James just doesn't get worse. He gets progressively better. The last thing that I will say is, of course, the accolades. Michael Jordan does have him beat on accolades, but I'm not talking about the most decorated player of all time. That's Bill Russell, or even Kareem, or even Michael Jordan. I won't argue that with you.
Right.
But LeBron James is the greatest basketball player of all time. So that's just my opinion. Do you agree at all?
No.
Nothing. I didn't change your mind at all.
No, because there's things that, LeBron James is better, and we talked about it, rebounding, passing, assist. He obviously beats him in, but, Michael Jordan...
Being able to outweigh him, too, no matter what the circumstances on the team.
But on the defensive end, LeBron doesn't even compare.
Yeah, but on the offensive end, it's totally different.
No, but Jordan has a better score.
What?
Averaged 30.1 points per game. LeBron James averaged 27.
Once again,
it's taken him longer to
LeBron
score
James
more
did
points.
way more on a bad team compared to Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan did nothing on a bad team. He just scored. That's why. He puts up 47 in a 4-game series.
In the finals to get swept.
Yeah, Michael Jordan got swept in the first round 2 times in a row. He took his team to the Eastern Conference Finals to get swept 3 years in a row. What's your point?
I don't know. Just 6-0 in the finals, that's it.
I mean, Michael Jordan could do nothing against these teams. I mean, I just proved to you that the teams that Michael Jordan went were nothing to the teams that LeBron went. LeBron James' Mavs team was better than all those teams I mentioned.
Well, he could have beaten the Mavericks, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think he could have beaten the Spurs twice, too.
There's no discussion. I wouldn't say beat them twice. That 2007 Spurs team wasn't going to beat them.
But they played the Spurs 3 times.
3 times. But you said twice. I think that...
Yeah, he could have beaten them twice.
I don't think he could have won 2 in a row. He got lucky the first time with Tim Duncan missing the game-winning putback in Game 7.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Spurs could have won all 3 times, if anything. Like I said, Tim Duncan should have won that game, but he didn't. And I don't think that he would have been able to beat Tim Duncan, Kawhi Leonard, who had one of the best playoff performances in the finals ever in 2014. He won the finals MVP for a reason, and that's what gave him his name. And I think that the players that LeBron James put himself against compared to Jordan, 9 times in the finals. 9 times in the finals. I think that obviously winning it is more important. But what LeBron James did against these teams, going through it with, obviously, I understand. I think that there's no discussion. Going against the Mavs, he should have won. He should have won, easily. But LeBron James, this is just my opinion, at the end of the day, is the greatest basketball player of all time. So, this was episode 11, Straight Facts, the debate, Jordan versus James, who's the GOAT. I'm Ciro, my boy.
Ritchie.
Tune in next time.